today's game. Tomorrow we're going to preview tomorrow's game. So we're going to give you what the guys are going to give you, what they think will happen on today's Champions League, and we're going to talk about the EPL, the Premier League happened. The last game happened yesterday, and surprisingly, West Ham won that game against Newcastle away from home. I couldn't
Finally.
even
Come
understand
on, you
what happened,
Ayot.
but if you look at football is an interesting sport because you cannot even predict what will happen. Sometimes you predict and the opposite happens. West Ham winning that game 2 goals to nil. We are going to talking about what happened in that game. We'll probably talk about a little bit of La Liga because La Liga and the Serie A, they are getting hot this season. So we'll talk about a little bit of what happens in the weekend in the La Liga and in the Serie A. Okay, welcome guys. Welcome to Vote Sports on Vote 104.3 FM. My name is Godwin, and I'm here with the guys, my A team, to discuss all this on the show. Good morning, Nonso. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning. Interesting result for me last night. I felt joy, though I was not happy with the lineup. But I'm beginning to see what this man saw in these players that he had to bring them to West Ham, and they are settling well in East London. But these players are not the players I want to see in the team anytime, any day. And all the same, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, John. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, sports fans. I think Nonso is a picky eater, and that's why he's going over this Lopetegui saga. It's fine. We'll continue.
Okay, let's start with the EPL. The result of yesterday in the EPL in the Premier League, the last game for the weekend happened yesterday, and Newcastle played West Ham yesterday, and West Ham won that game by 2 goals to nil. It was interesting. It just first 10 minutes. Thomas scored the first goal. In the second half, Wan Bissaka scored another goal in the 53rd minute to give them a 2-0 win. That is a huge result for West Ham because if you look at this season, they have lost a whole lot of games apart from winning Manchester United, which is actually a good thing
A
for
big
them.
trophy for them.
We have more than one win, so I
I
don't
know.
know why you're
I'm not saying the biggest
It's
win
not
this
just
season.
it's Man United.
Yes.
It's the biggest
And we are
cup,
coming for
man.
Arsenal.
It's the biggest
We are
cup
coming
this
for Arsenal. We
season.
are coming for Chelsea.
Newcastle
We are
is the
coming.
second biggest cup for you
Newcastle
guys
is
this
not a
season.
big cup. We are just like
Okay.
second and third. They fight for who will take second. Now the same category will be average.
I
Team.
like this
No,
confidence.
now average team
I like
will
the
be
confidence
Newcastle.
exuding
Because
this
Newcastle
morning.
went to Champions
Because
League
he
the last
won
year.
Newcastle. It's fine. I like this confidence. I hope it doesn't fade, but I'm here for the day it fades.
I'm just saying Lopetegui tried yesterday. I always stick to what I know. This man, the people he brought to West Ham, is not the kind of players I will settle for.
Baba
Except for
is
the defense.
given the job and he doesn't care what your opinion is, and he's living his truth.
Now he's gotten a win. If the team win, what I'm celebrating is my players, the Manchester United reject, and my warrior, the man that scored the first goal, Thomas Sunchek, the warrior in charge, the man that blitzed through 90 minutes and still played the full 90 minutes. He's a warrior, so he scored the goals. These are players that have been in West Ham, that knows how to fight for the shirt, that knows how to fight for the West of London club. They've been fighting there, and they'll continue to fight. These are players that have been there. Then Wan-Bissaka, the Man United reject, that doesn't know how to attack. Man United fans, how far? That's just my worry, because I feel like this game could have gone either ways. And yesterday on the show I said it, that I'm not even trusting them to win the game. You get, but one goal from set piece, you know that this man is always there to take up the loose balls, and he was on time, right in the right position to take the cross, and he perhaps scored it. And it was a good game to see so far, because you could see that what he wants to implement is there, but the players he brought in does not have the pace and energy to play the Premier League style. It's just what I'm saying. Sola started the game, and you saw how sluggish he was in the first half until you get, and you see that the players that have been in the Premier League continue to show why they were the Premier League players, and not just somebody coming into the Premier League. I need these players will have time.
For one, me, I'm happy I'm not sitting here crying about Tolibo, because Tolibo had a fantastic
No,
game.
I'm not saying. See, like I said, you can't bring in a player from somewhere else, and in the first week of him arriving in the Premier League, you start him. You have to have that 9 weeks. How many weeks are they now? Game week 12. You are seeing that he's settling in well. His first 5 games was terrible. I don't know how to classify it, but you notice that in his first 5 games it was terrible. Now Todibo and Maskewman, you see that the games between Maskewman and Mavropanos, defenses are always on top of their game. Yesterday night, Todibo and Kewman, defense was on top of the game, because we know that this is the quality of player he is. But you don't rush him into the starting lineup just like that. He just came into the Premier League. You give him 15 minutes, 30 minutes. You integrate him gradually into the starting lineup, and I think that was what he has learned so far. You see that in a couple of matches now, he bring him in the second half, 60 minutes, and he plays. And now he's beginning to find his feet in the Premier League. It's just what it is. But in the midfield, you also need to do the same thing with the other players he brought in.
I think the game was basically 50-50, almost the same possession, 50-50 possession, 500 passes for Newcastle, 475 for West Ham. If you look at the shots, 18-15, 2 shots on target, 6 shots on target for West Ham, which is actually good. But if you look at this game, do you think that West Ham can build from this, or what is wrong with Newcastle? I don't think they are going to touch top 4 this season. I think they tested it once and they just disappeared.
Team will beat Man U before international break. Now you no go build. They don't really start the build on their win against Man United. Now just time to show against other teams, because look at where they are in the table now, 14th. Trying to fight their way back to the normal top 10. Top half of the table is okay for a club like West Ham, not bottom half. And top half now, fighting to get into the top half is a good sign that this man is coming into the job gradually. He's beginning to know what the Premier League is all about. He's not going to be a failure like he was in Spain and the other side of England.
I understand that, because from West Ham, it's just 4 points from West Ham to 6th position where Spurs is sitting. So it's possible for them to cover that, even to play international.
No get hope, not to get God, you not to get that hope. That hope is not. I'm not a Chelsea fan. I'll tell you, we'll win the league because we signed a new manager. That's too much. If you play continentals, maybe in the next 2 years, 3 years from now, play continentals football, then it's fine.
But it's possible. That's what I'm saying. Just 4 points between them and 6th. So
4 points between them and 6th. You see the.
He knows
you see
they
the
have
bridge.
about 4 or 6 small losses.
You see the bridge between them. Then the Brighton. See, you have seen the 4 points there. You have seen the 4 points. You're not seeing the Fulham who is on top form. You're not seeing the Aston Villa who is on top form. You're not seeing the Tottenham Hotspur that is beating Man City week in, week out. You're not seeing the what's it called? Which other team is there? Nottingham Forest that is trying to go to the continental. So they're like 8 teams.
I think you're underestimating Lopetegui, and he's going to prove you wrong and finish in Europe, and you have to eat your words.
See, ahead of Nuno. Ahead of Nuno.
Yes.
I've seen the top 4.
I think you're underestimating
I've seen
Lopetegui and
the
the
top
side
4.
he has been able to assemble.
See, I've seen the top 4. The Man United might not finish in that top 4. Then now you're looking at the current top 4 now.
Why Man United the way
No. As in, I want to talk something. Just come. See, the top 4 now. Man United no go enter. So they are always in the run for top 6. Now you see that the current top 4 is on top.
Man United have 5th position now.
Maybe. Then there's a Tottenham Hotspur, who we don't know where they will finish. They are still in that top 6 conversation. Now 7th is the last space for continentals, which is the Conference League. Yes. Now in 7th you have Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Fulham fighting for that last position. How do you think Lopetegui will jump all these people to come and finish in top 6?
You never know. The most important thing, like I keep saying it, the most important metric in all of this conversation is you win your games, and then when you are done winning your games, you then look across the pond and see who is going to give you points. Other than that, there's no other way of
the only way is what Ten Hag did last season. Win the FA Cup and you get the Europa League. That's the only way. And West Ham is not. I'm not sure.
Okay, that game ended 2-0 for West Ham. Good result for West Ham. They are moved a little bit up on the table. If you look at that table, they are sit 14th and Newcastle stay 10th after losing 3 games in the last 5 games. They stay 18th on the table. So Newcastle, I think they won last time a couple of weeks ago. Since then, they have been losing games. I don't know what is wrong, but they need to fix up. Okay, let's see what both Newcastle and West Ham where they are going to finish. Because if you look at from 14th to 6th, it's just 4 points. So it's possible for Newcastle and West Ham to play continental football next season. Okay, let's move over to before we move over to the Champions League. Remember, guys, we are live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. We are live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. You can drop your comments. I will be reading your comments live here in the studio. Before we move over to the Champions League, which is the main topic for today, let's talk about the Serie A, because Serie A is very interesting. If you look at the table, I'll give you the results of the weekend, then we'll talk about the table, because the table is very, very important. It's interesting what is happening in Serie A this season. If you look at in the weekend's game, is Verona 0, Inter 5, Juventus and Milan played at a 0-0 draw. That means Juventus still stay unbeaten in the league. Parma 1, Atlanta 3, Genoa 2, Cagliari 2, Como 0, Fiorentina 2. Fiorentina are the dark horse this season in the Serie A. Torino 1, Monza 1. Napoli 1, Roma 0. That is first loss for Ranieri after moving to Roma. He lost his first game. Then Lazio won that game 3 goals to nil against Bologna. Empoli 1, Udinese 1, and Venezia 0, Lecce 1. Okay, that's the results for the Serie A. But if you look at the table, it's a table that is very, very interesting. If you see the table from first to sixth, Napoli stay first with 29 points, Atlanta with 28 points, Inter with 28 points, Fiorentina with 28 points, Lazio with 28 points, Juventus stay unbeaten with 25 points. They are unbeaten with 25 points. Okay, look at this table, look at this race. What do you think will happen in the Serie A? Before we move on to Champions League, let's talk about what will happen in the Serie A, because if you look at the first to fifth, it's just 1 point.
Yeah.
First to fifth. Okay, let's add Juventus, because Juventus, they are unbeaten. They have not lost a game, even though they have
leave the unbeaten first.
They are unbeaten. You can't take it away from them. They have not lost a game.
They are 3 points. They are 3 points behind fifth position.
Yeah.
And from second to fifth is just 28 points, which means there's no point difference between any of them. So anybody that picks up a draw now leaves the position for the next person. You get, and in the weekend, you saw an Atlantan side go on to win. Ademola Lookman's goal was cancelled, but he went on to score another one, and he puts them on the top of the table, expecting Roma to at least take off points from Napoli. But all the same, they kind of fought hard, but they didn't get the result they expected. Roma went on to lose that game by 1-0, and Napoli went back to the top. And you see that the table was okay. Then the Fiorentina side, you get the way they played against Como, you could see that this team knows what they are doing. They've been to back-to-back Conference League finals, back-to-back continental finals, and they didn't touch any. You get losing against West Ham and losing the last one against Olympiacos. They didn't touch any. It was a problem for them. Now they're looking for a way to get their hands on the trophy. And this was the same thing that happened to Atlanta, finishing in the top 4, going to quarterfinals, going to semi-finals, and not getting to the finals and not getting the trophy. The first time they got to the finals, they tried their best to get it over and get it to their side. Now, for Fiorentina, they've gone to 2 finals in the Continentals and they've not won it. Now, if they're looking for a way that they can touch a trophy, even if it's the Italian Cup, you get touch a trophy, Coppa Italia, touch maybe the Europa League, and the only way to play the big boys league this season is to make sure they finish in the top 4, because that's the target. They're tired of playing the Conference League and the Europa League where they go to the finals and not win it. They want to play the big boys league, and I think the target now is Champions League. If we can get to the Champions League, we'll get enough money to buy in players that we need.
Now, what do you think of this table? This table is interesting.
The table at the top sets a flattering picture of excellence. You look at it, 1 point separating all 5 teams. If you go back down, the only unbeaten side in Serie A is Juventus, and they are just 4 points off the top. 4 points up the top. So it's a good one, but I think what we are going to see in the coming weeks is that we are going to see a separation, and this separation is going to come in the shape of teams who are more consistent, winning their games, getting the 3 points on the board, and other teams like Juventus who keep on racking up the draws and getting distant from them. If you look at if we are talking about the Serie A now, but if you go back and look at the Premier League table, you see that from West Ham down to the bottom, guys, is still the same separation we are seeing. So in this Serie A now, we are seeing clear separation from 6th position to 7th, which means AC Milan are out of this conversation. Just looking at this snapshot for now, yes.
For now.
And then looking at the quality of results, you have to put it towards the top 4 teams being the teams that are in contention for the Scudetto this season.
Okay, if you look at the next fixtures in that game, Inter is going to play Fiorentina, which is a big one. Napoli will go to Torino, and Roma will host Atlanta. That's going to be the next weekend's game. And who do you think will win this league? Because I'm looking at Napoli. Napoli is the strongest side here, even though they have lost more games. They left 2 games already, and Atlanta have lost 3 games only. Inter have lost 1, Fiorentina have lost 1. But who do you see winning this league? Because after 13 games, you can't separate them like that. Every other league you could see different.
The same way you can't separate them till you get to game week 19. That's the next 6 games. We know who will separate. After this next weekend game, we'll not know where the separation will start coming place. But this is what the Napoli coach said. He said something about fullbacks and 3 at the back. He said he still plays his 3 at the back. It's just that people don't see it. And he's no longer playing the 3 at the back with plenty wing backs. You get where you have fullbacks playing your wing back and all of that. He has a 3 at the back that has more midfielders in the side. And you see that he has many players that I call them the workhorses. He has the smart workhorses in the side that carry the ball forward, create the chances, and the two players up front, or perhaps the three players up front. So you see that he has the team. He can shuffle around without wing back. If he's playing a tough game, then maybe he introduce a wing back because he wants to defend. But in this particular season, he's not defending, so he's not playing wing backs to complete the five-line defense, and he's always going forward to score the goals.
Okay, John, who do you think will win this league? Who do you think will win this league?
That's Napoli for me. I'm saying Napoli might be winning it, but
I think it's going to end up being a 2-horse race, and it's going to be Inter Napoli for this one.
It's going to be 3-horse race.
It's going to be Inter Napoli for this one, because if you go look at it, Atlanta, they are the side I want to add into this conversation at this point in time, but I'm still wary about Atlanta. They have a game coming up against, let's pull it up. They have a game coming up against Roma. If you look at the same thing too, Fiorentina has a game coming up against Inter. And then if you look at it, Napoli go away to Torino. So these are real big games. Like, how they come out of these games will determine how they enter into the festive season and then the run of games they are going to have within that period. So, but for me, the proven winners here is just Inter Milan and then Napoli. So Atalanta should now have to make a case why they should be in the conversation.
The same way Roma struggled to get a result against their last opponent, against Napoli in the weekend. That's the same way they will struggle to get a result against Atlanta, because these guys are on top form. Okay. They are still riding on the horses of getting the Continentals, getting the cup. You know, when you get something, when you do something good, the next season you want to build on it and do something better. And I think Atlanta in this season are going in for the Scudetto.
Okay, let's see what happened in Syria. It's interesting what is happening there. So the Syria A fans, I think they are going to actually watch this to the end. It might be maybe turn out to 2-horse race or 3-horse races, depending on how the other teams perform in the upcoming weeks. Okay, let's move on to the main event. Is the Champions League, and I'm going to give you the fixtures for today, and we'll talk about most of the games happening today. Is Slovan Bratislava versus Inter Milan. That one is happening on 8:45. It's okay. 6:45. Actually, 6:45 is actually against Milan. It's Slovan Bratislava versus Milan. Sparta Prague versus Atletico Madrid. That is the first two early games that are happening. If you go to 9 p.m., it's Manchester City versus Feyenoord, Barcelona versus Brest, Bayern Munich versus PSG. That was the biggest game for today. Inter Milan versus RB Leipzig, Young Boys versus Atlanta, Bayer Leverkusen versus RB Salzburg, Sporting Lisbon versus Arsenal. That's the games for today. Okay, let's talk about the big one. Is Bayern versus PSG. You know, both of them are struggled, especially in the Champions League. If you look at both of them in both leagues, they are top of their leagues comfortably. Bayern and PSG, they are unbeaten in their league. That means they have not lost any game at all. But in the Champions League, they are struggling. And that means both teams need 3 points, especially PSG. What do you see is happening in today's game?
PSG have had just 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses. Bayern, on the other hand, have had 2 wins and 2 losses. So it's, if you look at the positioning and the standing, they just have the same. Okay, Bayern has 6 points, PSG has 4 points, and both of them are worse off. PSG is sitting 25th right now, outside even the knockout qualifying positions, and Bayern are just 18th, and it's not a nice position for them to be in. But then this is the game. This should be the catalyst, because let's not forget right now, like, after this game, we just have 3 games left. And yes, if at the point, let's say everything goes counterclockwise, this top 18 positions could be filled up with
teams that
2 games to spare and more points gap difference than you could recover. So it's time to actually make hay while the sun is shining, because nobody knows how this thing is going to go. Just go up the table and look at the guys up the table and come back and say, like, who are they going to collect this point from? Where are they going to salvage this point from? And then who are they going to knock out of these positions? Because as it stands now, it's a gulf between them. And as we see these games come and go, that gap is going to widen. So it's a very dangerous and precarious situation to find yourself in right now.
Leave the top 8 where they are.
Before we continue, let's
we're not even talking about the top 8.
Let's go to our YouTube channel to read one comment about the Serie A. Then we'll continue with the Champions League. Emmanuel Leo, welcome to the show. He's saying, good morning, guys. It's Inter title to lose. Like I said before, the Scudetto will be won by the team with the best squad depth, and that's Inter. Juventus go unbeaten and finish ninth with their draws. And he's saying PSG has lost that big team vibes they used to have. Bayern will be wiping them today. Okay, let's stay with that PSG game. That PSG game, I don't know what is wrong with PSG. Since they sold Mbappe, everybody was thinking probably they will improve. They brought in a couple of young players, and they are doing well in the league. Everybody expects them to do well in the league, but in the Champions League, they are struggling. Now, you have a young coach at Bayern Munich that is actually doing well, but he has lost a couple of games too in the Champions League, but he is ahead of PSG. But PSG are in trouble. They are in big trouble. They actually need to win this game. Anything less than a win, if they get a draw in this game, they will be the first big team that probably won't qualify for the knockout stages of the Champions League at all. What do you expect will happen in this game?
They are not the only big team that is not qualifying for the next stage of the Champions League. They are not the only, because there's a Leipzig there, there's a Stuttgart.
What is Leipzig?
Leipzig. Stuttgart.
They are not the same level with PSG.
Compare them with PSG.
See, why I said this, even there's a Shakhtar Donetsk. These teams I mentioned are champions.
Come on, man.
These teams are champions.
Come on.
It doesn't mean these teams are champions in their own right, in their basic leagues. You get the likes of Shakhtar Donetsk. They are champions in their league.
Champions where?
In their league.
In which league?
In their league.
Which league?
In the what's it called?
Liga.
No, not Bundesliga.
When last they get to the
Ukrainian league.
quarterfinals of the Champions League?
They are champions. Like I said, they
When
are
last
champions
they get to
in
the
their right.
quarterfinals of the Champions League in that pedigree?
Just because these people spent money
in
to
that
be there.
pedigree, it's only PSG that are out of the top 24 positions.
Just because these people spent money to be in that conversation does not mean other teams are not in that conversation. We are talking about domestic league leaders. You get domestic league leaders, and you look at that Shakhtar Donetsk and some other teams are in that conversation now.
We are
I'm
not
just saying this in the
talking about
Champions League.
domestic league leaders. We are talking about big teams that are on the verge of crashing out of this competition. And so far, it's only PSG that
teams that
is
you know,
outside that top
team I know.
24 position.
And I'm saying, look at this game now. It's going to be a game of who has it and who doesn't. I'll say this. We've seen Vincent Kompany go into some of these games with his crop of players. We say he was going to win, and he lost it. You get because of some changes he made in the side, the inexperienced changes he made. And against Arsenal, we saw this man make the same mistake. When he was trying to experiment with tactics. I don't see why you're playing a big match and you're experimenting with tactics. You shouldn't be experimenting with tactics. Against Arsenal, we saw a PSG go into the game, experiment with tactics, and lost that game. Now PSG did the same thing. Bayern Munich did the same thing against Aston Villa, and this man made a couple of changes. You know that these changes are inexperienced changes, and he lost that game to Aston Villa. You see that these are the two telling games now that you have to summarize their performance on. And apart from these two games in their domestic leagues, I can't use their domestic leagues to write about each of them because these two teams are dominating the leagues. PSG is like 4 points 4 points above second, while Bayern Munich is about 3 points above the second place. So they are first in the league. They are first in the league, dominating their league with maximum points. You get, even if they lose their next two games, they'll still be top of their league. You get, I'm just saying in the Champions League now, these people need to put up a performance to fight for the result.
The difference, however, is that in the Champions League, Paris Saint-Germain are on the verge of oblivion, because if you look at the goal tally, at least if you look at Bayern Munich, they've scored 11, conceded 7. They have a healthy goal difference. If you look at PSG, they've only scored 3. They've only scored 3 and conceded 5. They have a -2 goal deficit. So where are they going to get the goals to beat Bayern today? That's one. Where are they going to get the goals to beat Bayern today? And then secondly, you are playing Bayern. Let's see if whoever they decide to field, how are they going to overturn that Bayern midfield? Because that's the big problem. So in this game, I see Bayern Munich coming away with a win, moving up the table, but then that leaves PSG in a precarious position. And let's not even get into the fact that RB Leipzig, that are powering in the Bundesliga, as sitting somewhere without any points in this competition at all. They haven't gotten any points in this competition. So powering in the league or leading the league is not, grounds to come and have success in the Champions League. There are teams that are not doing well in the league that are focusing squarely on just this Champions League to get something for themselves. If you look at the likes of Brest, their funding this season, a lot of that is coming from being in this Champions League. And so we have different teams in the mix. And I said it that coming into this year's Champions League with this new format, is going to expose some of these big guys who slip through group stages and qualify to the knockout stages. And if you go just a few positions south of Bayern, you're going to see another big name in Madrid and Milan in this conversation.
Actually, Bayern is above Real
Real
Madrid.
Madrid.
Yes.
He said south. That's below them. You see Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, AC Milan, Benfica, and the rest of them. Atletico Madrid as well. But I'm still saying this. It's the games at what's it called PSG has lost. It's against what's it called Atletico Madrid and Arsenal. These are the two games they've lost. Why these people have lost against Aston Villa, who are new in the Champions League after 72 years or so. Now, you lost against Aston Villa, you lost against Arsenal, fine. You lost against so I'm seeing this game as a game that will come out. They will come out and show that they need to be in the conversation of qualifying, even if it's knockout
You
stages.
couldn't win an Arsenal. It's Bayern Munich you want to come and show. What do you have to show against Bayern Munich?
It's possible. It's possible they can win. It's
Okay,
West Ham won
Man United.
Man United and
Who
Newcastle.
do you, why did you expect that result?
Let's not glorify
No,
West Ham, right?
we'll
here
rub
now.
it in. We'll
Because
see.
Manchester United made West Ham look
Like world class.
when they are a
The same way,
league
the
club
same way
from
West Ham
the
made Chelsea
division.
look like world class.
Let's play operation for that game because that game is going to be interesting. It's Bayern Munich and PSG because both of them need 3 points, especially PSG, and they are going away. That's the problem. If they are playing at home, I could have said, okay, probably they are short of 1 point. But going away to Germany to play Bayern,
What happened when Arsenal won them at home? What happened?
it's going to be difficult. It's going to actually be tough for them to do that. But let's get your operation for that game before we move on to other games. Let's get your operation.
Their away is PSG because their away form has been better than their home form.
I disagree. Bayern Munich.
They lost Atletico Madrid at home as well.
I don't see them beating Munich at Allianz Arena. Not going to happen.
Okay, let's see what happens. So it's Bayern Munich versus PSG. That's the biggest game for today. Okay, let's move out to the Arsenal game. Arsenal is playing Sporting Lisbon. This is the first Champions League game without Ruben Amorim. Probably is a good luck for Arsenal. It's small luck for Arsenal. They are not going to be facing Ruben with this Sporting Lisbon side that trashed Manchester City. Okay, but Arsenal is going to Lisbon to play them. Arteta has some of his injured players are coming back. Rice is fit now to play. He said in his press conference, Rice is fit to play. Even Tierney is actually fit now to play.
Finally,
I don't know if he's going to play, but he said that Tierney is a forgotten man at Arsenal. And he wears number 3 jersey. He said he is back from injury, and most of the key players are back from injury. Kai Havertz didn't play the last game. He's fully fit now. Zinchenko is fit. Odegaard is fit. Saka is fully fit. Jesus is fit.
Please,
everybody
all I
is
want
fit.
is no experiments. No experiments.
They are moving to Sporting Lisbon. What are we expecting today? Arsenal to win or Sporting Lisbon to shock them?
It's going to be a shocker because, you go check out the results for the last weekend for Sporting Lisbon. They decimated the guys they played against, scoring, I think, 6-0. So it's not going to be a walkover because the only thing different is that Amorim is not going to be in the side, but the side is already a formidable side, and Arsenal are going to have to work extra hard to break this guy down, or we are going to see a brilliant performance from Saka, who is going to once over the defense. So it could go either ways, but I don't think Arteta will want to get into a tactical fist fight with whoever is managing Sporting Lisbon. So there should be a blast in the team. There should be an early blast of brilliance that before they recover, they've gotten one or two
forget Lisbon, they start from the first whistle. Once they just blow free, they don't define how they will take scoreboard. The intensity, the energy levels are high, the intensity is high, the physicality is high. That's one thing with Sporting. I've seen their game and I saw their game in the Champions League and I'm like, okay, fine, this is how they play. This is what this man wants to implement at Manchester, but it's going to take him about 3, 4, 5 years maybe. If Man United fans could have the patience of waiting for 5 years to get his idea implemented in the club. But look at the way they played now. The new coach came in, he's not really changed anything. Like what happened in Liverpool. The man that just came in, he didn't really change much. He's still having the same starting 11. He still has the same crop of players playing in the side. He's not yet the transfer window. He said, okay, he's going to let many of them go and bring in the players that will fit his style of play. He's going to continue keeping this squad of players till January and perhaps till the summer, until some of them start going to bigger clubs and across Europe. But it's a game that we've said in Liverpool, you have a team, you inherited a good side. Just work on 1 or 2 things that they were lacking in before. Sporting Lisbon have always been a team that comes back. I think the previous game before this last one, they were losing 2-0, and they came back to win 4-2 in that game. So doing a comeback to win 4-2, you can't go into games with losing. And I think that was Amorim's last game in charge. You can't go into games losing 2-0 up. If you do it against Arsenal, the game is as good as over, because there's no way they will allow you score 4 past them in less than 30 minutes. You get so. You can't go into games with your head down and keep coming for a comeback. But also in this game as well, going into Arsenal's game, this man has seen what Amorim has done for the side. What he needs to do is improve on the performance.
Okay, if you let's go to our YouTube channel, because I have some comments here on our YouTube channel. Okay, David Salamat, welcome to the show. I can see you. Thank you for joining us on today's show. Thank you for your comment too. He's saying Arsenal is okay to me. They can deliver there. So he believes that Arsenal is going to be winning today's game. Okay, but if you look at what Arteta has been, they played their best game in the weekend. They almost killed Nottingham Forest with that passes everywhere. Passes was flying everywhere. Saka was in the win, and Odegaard was the combination. They wanted to kill them. They almost killed Nottingham Forest. But they are going away to Lisbon. They need to pick up points, even though they are not in danger of not qualifying in knockout stage. But everybody is looking for that top 8. If you look at Sporting Lisbon, actually Sporting Lisbon is actually doing well. They are second. They are second on the table, so they are always there. If they win this game, or probably next 2 games, they are going to be finishing top 8. But Arsenal needs that 3 points with everybody, because if you qualify for top 8, you will not play knockout that first knockout, so you lose a lot of energy. Yes. So what do you think will happen? Arsenal to win or Sporting Lisbon to win? Who wins?
They have so if Arsenal wins this one now, Sporting Lisbon will still be in the top 8 conversation.
Yes.
But the thing is goal difference. They get. And if Inter Milan and every other team around them go ahead to win, if Aston Villa and perhaps if Atlanta wins their game, then they might drop out of top 8 to 9th position. They get, with goal difference still. I'm just looking at a case scenario where they finish this game and they get a draw against Arsenal. They still remain 11 points second. Then allow other teams to win and come and join them, like the teams like Man City. If Man City wins today's game, they'll be 11 points. You get, and 11 points is around second position. If they win and these guys lose, then they are dropping to 10th position. So it means that if they lose this game against Arsenal, they are dropping to play more games. You get, and nobody wants to play more games. Everybody is already complaining about the calendar and the fixtures.
Everybody is fighting for that top 8.
Yes.
So everybody now wants to play the top 8. So you know, okay, you have 2 games to spare. You have 2 games to spare, 1 home and away game to spare. So if you can spare 2 games, why not start now to fight for those 2 games?
That's and that's why this game is such a big game, because if you look at the positions, Arsenal are just 7th, and they are in threat of
7 points. So everybody's from the 9th position now. Atlanta, Man City, Juventus, Arsenal, Leverkusen, and Lille. They are all in threat of playing. I'm still talking about these ones. I have to dig deep to get to Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Benfica. But these teams now are in threat of playing extra 2 games, and these teams are already complaining. The likes of Man City, Pep Guardiola was complaining.
Yeah.
Even the president, I think Ancelotti didn't say anything much about it. But the president of Real Madrid came out to make the statement. He said the fixture congestion is making players look tired and
Vinicius is injured already.
And out of idea. When he said out of idea, the name that came first to his head was Jude Bellingham, because he felt like Jude Bellingham didn't know what to play again, because the matches were just coming in rapid, rapid ball fire, and it's a problem for the team. You need to make your players fit, and if they continue to play 70 games a season, you can't continue to see that performance level in them.
Okay. Let's see what happens in today's game. Arsenal is going to be hosting Sporting Lisbon. Okay, we are going to open the phone lines for you to call us to tell us your prediction for today's Champions League game. But before then, let's go to our YouTube channel and read some of the comments on our YouTube. And Emmanuel is saying, "Biko, I take God blame you now. Don't compare United players to Liverpool players. Slot inherited a team that always wants to me. Intensity is always there, but our comedians aren't interesting."
We're not talking about Man United. We're talking about Sporting.
Okay,
who replaced Amorim is Sporting, not Man United.
Okay,
he's Man United out of
he's predicting Arsenal to win 3 goals to 2. That's Emmanuel is predicting Arsenal to win 3 goals to 2 today. Okay, Ahmad, I can see you. Welcome to the show too. Okay, number to call is 0706 0485853. If you call us, tell us your prediction for today's game and what you think will happen today. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, guys in the studio.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
Pedro from Ebola.
Okay, Pedro, what is your prediction for today's game, Pedro?
Please, first of all, I want to know what the Sporting played last weekend.
They
6-0.
won 6-0.
6-0 in their league.
Yes.
Okay. They can still win against Arsenal now. They
Okay.
have moved on from now money.
But Arsenal won.
Yes. My prediction today is 14-2. Arsenal 0.
Okay.
And for Man City will return to winning ways today. Man City win by 3-1.
Oh,
Finally,
okay.
finally, Pedro.
Yes.
You're doing well.
And for Barcelona Brest, Barcelona will play at a 1-1 draw.
Okay.
Yes.
All
And
right.
Ademola Lookman team will get all 3 points. I don't know the score, but Ademola Lookman will score goal because I want that guy to win the Africa Best Player.
All right. We all want him to win too. Thank you very much, Pedro. Okay, let's go back to the Man City game. Man City is playing again today. They are playing final today, and Pep Guardiola is saying that they need to get back to winning ways. And the next game, they are playing against this team. They are going to trash this team. I have a feeling that they are going to be trashing this team today. Okay, let's see. Before we take this, before we go into the Man City game, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
Ike from Super.
Okay, Ike, what is your prediction for today's game?
I want to know something about Westham. Have they win Premier League?
Have you won Premier League in your history?
No,
You should go and do research. Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
I doubt.
Do your research.
Okay.
I don't think. Okay, talking of the reason why I say this is because the brother there talking of Chelsea fan where they say they will win trophy. Why can you say you win trophy? Why you don't have players? You don't have players to win trophy. We don't get a good coach. So we know we'll say that now. For match today, I'll give it to Arsenal will lose their match.
Okay, Arsenal will lose their match.
Okay, that's what they do to last weekend. Because the forest players are not informed.
Okay.
That's the reason why they get that goals.
Okay.
I wish them to lose that match. And
Okay.
match the same thing.
Man City to lose too. Okay. Okay.
That's the thing.
All right.
John, I know. you don't carry anything this season.
I like it. Always standing on business. Thank you very much. He's always standing on business. Okay, if you want to talk about West Ham have not won the Premier League.
They've not won anything
in their career. The highest is third in 1985. That's highest position. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, also.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
Number one, let me first of all
name and location, please. Name and location, please.
Okay, this is Engineer Additional from Council.
Okay, all right.
So, John, what happened on weekend? Let me just start from there. Because say all these fire us, like us at all for Arsenal. Also, where did be your game yesterday where you people play?
Premier League, we win.
Okay, I love that because that game, I don't know why I not watched that ball yesterday night. The thing so pay me. So to come to the Champions League this morning, my dear, this night nothing can stop Arsenal to not take 3 points.
Okay.
As that away match. But the game it can lead to either 2-1 or 2-0.
Okay.
But nothing can stop Arsenal to not take 3 points there. Gunners for life.
Gunners for life. Okay. Okay, everybody's producing for their own club. Okay, let's talk about the Man City game. Man City are playing today. John, let me stay with your team. What do you think will happen on today's game? What do you think will happen?
This is fair enough we're talking about.
It's
It's not like this is Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Come on, people lost to Bournemouth, so it's the same thing we are saying.
they lost to Bournemouth, and it's just Bournemouth.
It's just Bournemouth.
So
a win in this game, that's all I'm going to say.
A win in this game. Okay,
Yes.
so what do you expect to happen in this
we
game?
all expect Man City to come back to winning ways because some people are beginning to cry right now. Some people are beginning.
That guy will not say 5 in a row.
He said it's not 5 in a row. 5 in a row.
5 in a row, loading.
Haaland hat trick.
5 in a row, loading.
And he will still tell you. There's how he used to say it. Let me remember now. He said it's going to be a blowout.
It's a blowout.
That's all I have to say. Now the blowout now, they are not blowing them out. They are not blowing them away. Now the blowout has reduced. Against Feyenoord now, you are still expecting a blowout, but I'm not expecting a blowout in this game because
yes,
it's 1 point between Man City and Feyenoord. You get, and they are still in the qualification zone. It's just 1 point between them, and Man City being 10th on the table or 10th on the table behind Atlanta, the same point, and what's it called, Feyenoord being 17th on the table or so. They are still in the position of qualifying for the next round. You get, it's just if they can hold themselves to get a draw out of this game. But I'm seeing Man City being, we are expecting Man City to be back in the winning ways. I'm not talking about John here who is crying. There are people who's lost their livelihood because of Man City. They get, because of the way John will shout the blowout. They expect Man City to go out and blow out people, but all the same, Man City has been blown away in recent games. So I'm expecting them to just come into this game. We're expecting Man City to come back to winning ways. We are. I'm not going to sit here and sit. Even we can banter when the Premier League weekends come up, but on the Champions League nights, we're all English fans, and I'm an EPL
and
fan.
at least you are, living vicariously through Man City.
No,
Get it?
definitely not.
Okay,
Yeah.
that game.
Definitely not. I'm living vicariously through Chelsea because they are the ones that have gone it 2 times in the last 15 years.
Okay, that game ended. That game ended. Will end. We play today. Let's see what Man City is going to be doing. Okay, let's take calls and let's take predictions for today's game. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Name and location, please.
This is Unity Mila calling from Process.
Oh, okay. Sorry, what's your name?
Unity Mila.
Okay, Unity. Okay, what is your prediction for today's game? You are calling from Cross River.
River.
Oh, well done.
Yes. As an Arsenal fan, I'm rooting for my club to win.
Okay.
But again, to be sincere,
Mm.
our greatest undoing currently now is Mikel Arteta.
Is what?
Mikel Arteta.
Okay.
I don't know if it is because the experimentation he learned from Pep Guardiola. You have your squad, your winning squad, to win your game, but you are not doing it. You keep experimenting. Believe you me, Arsenal has the team to flog any team they meet. Okay, look at, I keep saying it. Against it, you have no business destroying that game. You were winning. What are you defending for? Why not play man to man? Against Liverpool, the same thing. Look at this crucial game. Against Chelsea, how can you allow that man that has not scored for how many years now to come and score from outside the 18-yard box? It's a pity for Arsenal, my God. You score, you are winning, and you have the right to seal up the game, and you concede, and then you equalize. Look at Chelsea celebrating their draw. Look at Liverpool celebrating draw with Arsenal. Look at Man City celebrating and laughing everywhere because it's due. Arsenal. So Arsenal, Mikel Arteta is the greatest problem. If only he can sit up and stop experimenting and know that the only grace he has is this season.
Okay.
So my
Thank you.
prediction is Arsenal win 2-1.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move out to our YouTube channel. And Anakletus Obi is saying Serie A is between Atlanta, Inter, and Napoli. Especially if Atlanta is knocked out of the Champions League, they are likely to be the biggest contenders. Okay, let's see. And he's also saying, I am a City fan. I am not certain about City's performance, so I feel City to win. God, okay, he's talking to me. Okay, that place. Thank you for that contribution. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Good morning, brother. Good morning, everybody in the studio. Good morning,
Good morning.
John, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. Name and location, please.
Thank you for picking my call. I mean, call is no way to pick it.
Name and
My
location.
name is Onya Vitalis, which is the Papa Bridge.
Okay, what is the prediction for today's game?
It's not said there. It's not said there.
I'm here. I'm here.
The other get the win of the match yesterday. The other get the win here.
End of season. I guess if we finish around top 8, end of season.
No liquidity.
Congratulations for westham. We are trying.
Thank you.
For that last call, I will say Chelsea is celebrating for getting a draw. My mind said that we were going to win. We should getting a draw. I'm the person saying we will not win Arsenal. Huh? I've been telling people say that they are going to take that cup. We have to push Liverpool to that cup. You cannot believe in me, but people will see for your eyes. Okay, let me start for Arsenal and
Spartan Lisbon.
yeah. The fact is, all the English clubs win their match. I'm supporting English club for Liga Champions League.
Okay.
Because I have any progress. Yes.
Thank
all
you.
The English club.
Our people.
They win Liga Champions League. Maybe at least they go there because we are still around there. They should go and carry the cup. So what do you go to England? From PSG and
Bayern Munich.
PSG and Bayern Munich, that match is a draw. It's a draw. Nobody can win. It's a draw match.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That's all I put now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to Barcelona and Brest. Brest are doing well in Champions League. They are not doing well in their own league, but in the Champions League, if you see where they are sitting pretty well in the Champions League. They are probably going to be playing the knockout phases of the Champions League in their first try of the Champions League. They stay fourth on the table. That means they still stay in the automatic qualification, but they are playing a Barcelona side that is looking to go back to winning ways after drawing in the weekend, and Barcelona are strong. So what do you think will happen in that game? Do you think that Brest will continue their miracle working performance in the Champions League, or Barcelona that is sixth will somehow just trash them? They are playing at home.
Yep.
Well, they're playing at home, and it's a good game for them. Being in the Champions League, getting the results they've gotten so far this season, being where they are in it. I think they are fourth on the table with 2 wins or perhaps 3 and 10 points. You see that they've performed well. You get this with 3 wins and 1 draw. They've not really lost a game in the Champions League. Performing well in the Champions League is all it takes. You get now where they are in their domestic league is about below top 4. They are not even in the condition of qualifying for the Champions League next year. So they need to put up a performance in this season to make sure that they can try. You get, even if they don't come there next year, just like what happened to Newcastle, even if they know they're not coming to play the Champions League next year, the record that they put up in the Champions League will live with them through the next 2 seasons. You get, and I'm seeing them in this game coming to fight against Barcelona. They might be getting a result against Barcelona in this one.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, everybody in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Name and location, please.
Michael calling from Unkalag.
Okay, Michael. Okay, Michael, what is your prediction for today's game?
Thank you. I want correct the nonsense. No, to we all, minus me and the other 35 are not supposed to see it away, so that John will feel the same pain. They will still lose more, both the Champions League and League. May they feel that pain, what does they feel? So don't say we say you personal support them to win, me personal not support them to win, I support them to lose.
Okay.
Lose more.
But not only me now, other person not called to support Man City too to win.
And you now West Ham fans now, if you like it.
The person we call a Chelsea fan too. Now Champions League, everybody they support England.
Original Chelsea fans have no go support the Man City.
No, now for Champions League they support Man City.
The one Bamba with the big boys. So I support Barcelona.
Okay.
And the opponent to trash them.
Okay.
And Bayern JG, I give that match to Bayern. So that the continent will go back to winning ways.
Okay. Thank you
If
very
you
much.
give that match to Bayern, it means they support Man City too, because Bayern coach now Man City legend.
Okay, let's move on to the. Okay, what is your prediction for that game? Barcelona and Brest.
It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be tough.
Win, Barcelona win.
It's going to be tough. I'm not going to give it to Barcelona easily like that.
Barcelona win.
Okay, let's move over to our guy. Lukman is playing today against Young Boys. We are expecting them to win Young Boys. It's Young Boys. Young Boys are not actually. They don't have a point in this Champions League. I think they have played all games and have lost all games.
They are cheerful givers.
Yes, they played 4 and they lost 4. They are the only part of the teams, them and a couple of teams have lost all their games. Even RB Leipzig have lost all their games. So I think, what do you think will happen in this game? Ademola Lookman to score again, maybe hat-trick. We actually rooting for
the
him.
mission for Atlanta is to qualify into those coveted positions, first 8. That's it. And as they are sitting right now, they are sitting just a position shy of that with 8 points, and the point difference is just 2 point difference to get into the upper echelons of that
1 point actually. They are 8. The person
I know, going
them
up in top 4, it's 2 point difference. So that's the target for them. A win in this game will get them to 11 and move them within touching distance of the top 3.
So they should be winning Young Boys today. They should win Young Boys today. They should win Young Boys today, right?
Young Boys just can't share point now. They are young. They are young.
They are young and they like sharing.
They are young and distributing. They are learning.
They are young boys.
There was one season they came to the was in the Europa League and they went to the quarterfinals, and that was the biggest achievement. And you could see that when they played that match again, I think it was against Man United in the quarterfinals also, and round of knockout 16, round of 16. The way they played the game, and after they lost that game, you could see the performance, the joy within the camp that they got to the Champions League quarterfinals or the Europa League quarterfinals, and they are here they've done this, and maybe they might not do it again in the next 10-15 years, but in this year's Champions League, this is not an advantage for them because of this group stage format. It's not an advantage for them.
Okay, let's take more predictions from our fans. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Name and location, please. Okay, what is your prediction for today's game?
He did. They play well.
Newcastle, pass. Let us go, no. Brother,
If I come out there, where make I go?
I don't know, but now you go choose now. I'm going to give people that never carry anything. You go eat that. Which gonna come?
You just say we'll be champions of Europe.
Champions of
Champions of Europe. We carry Conference League.
Rubber cup.
We carry Conference League.
Okay.
Actually,
Mm.
you win the match.
Okay.
Okay.
Arsenal. Yes.
They will win Arsenal 2-0.
Okay.
Atlanta. I think Atlanta is playing today now.
Yes.
Yes, now that they play today.
Look, man, they will score 2 goals. Go out of your book.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm a player from Gary.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Inter Milan as RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig have not won a single game in this Champions League.
Yes.
I think it's
Surprising.
surprising for me because
Surprising.
they see second in the Bundesliga. But in the
Winning
Champions
matches
League,
like-
they are not actually doing anything in the Champions League. Who do you think will win that game? But let's take this call first. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, finally.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Name and location, please.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Angelique from Abba Road.
Okay, what is your prediction for today's game?
Oh, wow, my two clubs are playing for Champions League.
You get two clubs.
The PSG and the Sporting.
Oh, PSV and Sporting.
Yes,
Oh, wow. I've not seen a Sporting Lisbon fan in Nigeria.
yes, because I'm supporting Sporting because of the life of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay, because of the people they've given you.
Okay.
As Manchester, you know, the Bruno
Understand.
Fernandes, Amorim, Ronaldo.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
then PSG, Cavani, and the Kalimba.
Okay.
You understand? These are my people. So, what today's game is going to be a one-two. Okay, is going to start happening. Arsenal is no way to start it.
Okay.
They are not a Champions League.
Material.
Yes. So, PSG and Bayern is going to be a tough one. I'm in support of PSG.
Okay.
Yeah. Then when it comes to Barcelona will make their game. Man City will win or
Okay.
Man City will win or yes.
Alright.
Irrespective of anything that is going on, Man City will win
Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about the final game is Bayer Leverkusen and RB Salzburg. What do you think? What do you expect will happen in that game? Do you think? Did you even get the prediction for
Inter
the
Milan.
Inter Milan? What is the prediction for Inter Milan and RB Leipzig? Who wins?
No doubt, Inter winning,
should
man.
win.
Inter Milan. Then the Salzburg game, they just won one game so far this season.
Yes, they are
And
playing.
they are still in that conversation of bottom six.
Yes.
You get from I think they're 30th in the table, playing against what's it called now?
Leverkusen.
Leverkusen now. Leverkusen won their game.
13th.
Leverkusen won their game last weekend, and you could see the performance they put up to get their performance against Hedingham. And you see that Hedingham will play on Thursday as well. But this team is a team that wants to be in the conversation of want to play the big boys league. I know they are tired of perhaps like John said it now, the fatigue of traveling around last season, the fatigue of putting too much energy into the season to win the trophy is getting to them this season. But they are still trying their best to put in the same energy in this season, though it's not working.
So who wins? Who wins? Our guy to score today.
I'm sticking with
Leverkusen.
He's not scoring today though, but I'm sticking with him. And there are rumors in the market now that rumor mill now says Man United are hunting or starting to sign him in January transfer.
I beg.
But, rumor mill now you go talk now, because when it comes to rumor mill, Man United go lazy for front.
Normally.
And the rumor now is
Normally
that
then they use race price.
Okay, your pressure for that game.
Leverkusen to win though.
Okay,
Yeah.
John.
Leverkusen to
Okay,
win.
let's get the final prediction. Is Sparta Prague and Atletico Madrid. Let's get your prediction for that game before we end the show.
Yeah.
Simeone all the way now.
Simeone all the way.
all the
Okay,
way.
this is how we are going to end in today's show. Thank you for joining us on today's show, and thank you for all the calls. You know, everybody's giving their own prediction. Tomorrow is another day for Champions League. Tomorrow we are going to preview all the games happening today. We are going to talk about the games happening today, and we'll preview tomorrow's game. So join us tomorrow 8 a.m. and join us live on YouTube at Volt FM Sports. My name is Godwin, and have a wonderful day. Bye for now.
Hello, Enugu, and welcome to Volt 104.3 FM, where music meets the voltage. Take a break and enjoy the show.
Sports. Alex Iwobi gets the ball down to the left-hand side. The delivery comes in. Oh, it's a great, that's a good goal! Entertainment. News and politics.
Enugu State governor
Don't call it
This is your radio.
gospel and let them have dominion. The kingdom of God is